During World War II in Nazi Germany, dozens of women were being found brutally beaten up and killed. What made this case even more heinous is that the assailant took pleasure in the beatings of each woman to the point of their submission. In their weakened state, the killer could then take his time with his obscene perverted fetish. Let's find out together why the serial killer could have so much hatred for women. This channel is about lesser known serial killers. Before we get started, I want to thank all of you that watch my videos. I've been sick lately, so I haven't been able to upload as scheduled. But I plan on making it up to you guys, and I appreciate your patience. So God bless, and let's get back to the story. If you're interested, I upload new content every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're ready, let's get started. 1939 in the country of Germany, in Friedrichsfeld district, which was considered a middle-class residential area at the time. It was known to be inhabited by many married couples. Since the start of the war, the German army demanded that all men of capable age were to be inducted into the military ranks to assist in the war effort. Almost overnight, the area had become known to the residents as the single mothers district. As the wives stayed home and took care of their families, a potential killer recognized this opportunity and chose to unleash a sickening sexual fetish upon these unsuspecting mothers. The story starts when a woman who had been reported missing by the family the day prior was found unconscious and lying in the dirt of a footpath. The woman was obviously assaulted because she was half naked and her clothing was torn or completely removed, also beaten savagely due to the swelling and bruising about the face and arms. The woman was taken to a nearby hospital where she reported her attack to the police. No other information was provided, but it's safe to assume that the police did not investigate. This was likely the reason why the attacks continued and accelerated throughout the community. Over the course of a year, at least 31 reported incidents. Women were found sporadically unconscious throughout the city, and they all gave the same description of their attacker. At this point, all of the victims survived, but this would change shortly after. After reporting the incidents to the police, the women did not press the issue. This was because it was easier to deal with being assaulted than to stir up trouble and become the enemy of the Third Reich. Paul Orgazau was born Paul Saga in 1912. His mother nor his father wanted any parts of him, so the grandfather took care of Paul until he reached 12. Thank you, I love you too, Mom and Dad. He was then given up for adoption to Joan Osgaro, thus the name changed. His adopted parents used him as free manual labor on the farm until Paul became an adult. At 18, he found interest in the Nazi Party and their ideology, so he relocated to Berlin and joined. Brutalizing people was the biggest way to move up the ranks within the Nazi Party. In doing this, he unleashed something within himself. Harming women actually pleased him. It felt good being bad. He loved the spread of misery to others, especially women. Translation, this is the part where he recognized his craziness. To fit into society, he dated a woman that he eventually married, and they had 2 children together. Paul practiced beating on his wife to prevent her from possibly cheating on him, in which she never did. I guess it worked in his mind. His brutality within the Nazi Party got him noticed, so his colleagues were able to help him find work for the local railroad company. Daily, he would travel to work by walking or riding a bicycle. One day, he encountered a woman that he was attracted to and attacked and assaulted her. At that particular moment, Paul realized that too many women had his description, and the only way he could be sure of never being captured was to kill this particular woman. So he reached down, picked up a large stone, and bludgeoned her about the head until he assumed that she was dead. He repeated the attacks on 3 different women, but all of the women survived. Paul had no interest in stopping, so he changed his method of killing. He decided to attack women on the train as he worked. Then afterwards, he would just toss their bodies off the moving train to ensure their death. Paul attacked 8 additional women in the same manner, 3 of which survived the attack and being thrown off the train. They also described their attacker before actually succumbing to their injuries. Each victim described the killer as a trained employee wearing a uniform when they were attacked. The Nazi Party, being concerned that this would have an impact on their soldiers' morale, and chose not to warn the public. Over the course of several weeks, all of the trained employees were brought in for questioning. Several men told the authorities that Paul always talked about his ambition to kill women. Paul was located and interviewed. A check was done on his clothing, and each were found to have blood stains from his victims. Confronted with all the evidence, he confessed to all the murders. The authorities charged him with 8 murders and 6 attempted murders. He was found guilty and given a death sentence. He was executed by guillotine for his crimes 2 days later. If you're interested in more stories such as these, click on one of the suggested videos above. God bless and stay safe.